Welcome to the Quick Actions in TaxDome series where we're showing you how you can do very specific actions inside TaxDome in 5 minutes or less. So this training, we're going to cover how you can go ahead and send an invoice. So there are a number of different ways that you can do this and places that you can do this, as is typical with TaxDome, but it's all for convenience and it's a great thing to be able to do this. The most basic one at the top here is to go ahead and hit New and select Invoice. You can choose the client that you want to invoice, and this is where you can then go in and you can set up whatever information you need to. You can decide how they're going to pay. If you have templates already created, you can pull that information in. You can add descriptions, you can add dates, you can email, you can send reminders, you can even schedule it for later. And then below, this is where you can enter in any sort of details that you need to for your invoice. It's going to give them a quick summary. You can add in items here, and you can even add notes into your clients if you want to as well. Once you have that all set and all ready, you may want to link it to a job if it's part of a job. This would allow it to pause the automation until the client pays, meaning wherever you're at in the process, if you link it to the job, it's not going to move forward until the client pays that invoice. This is especially helpful when you are sending a tax return for a signature and payment and you don't want that to move on until that's completed. That's a really good chance for you to go ahead and link it to the job, and then you would go ahead and you would hit create. You may also have a need to send an invoice for billable time from your time entries. This is where you can go into under billing, your time entries right here, and you can select for any particular clients that you need to send an invoice for. You can just pull together those time entries, and you can do it in, with multiple time entries as well. You can go ahead and create that invoice. Same thing, you can pull in a template, you can choose how they pay, all of that detail. It's also going to pull in the time entry itself in here. You can always edit that from here and summarize it. It will summarize it for you if there's multiple time entries as well. And then whenever you're ready, you would go ahead and hit that. So very helpful to also know where you can go ahead and create those recurring invoices. You have this tab here to create the recurring invoice, and you'll see it's just a separate tab up here to select to make that a recurring. There's some additional details besides just the kind of your basic invoice information to decide at what point do you want that to start, what are the number of recurrences, and how often do you want that to recur. You also get to choose whether you want this to be an automatic payment, meaning that the client is going to authorize those payments to happen automatically, or if it's going to be a manual payment every time they receive that invoice. Similarly, you can email it, set your reminders, and then below would be all of your details. To see all of your invoices, you can go under billing to invoices, and this is where you're going to see all of your invoices that are both unpaid and paid. And so there's a few things you can do here. If we look at this one that's unpaid right here and click on the 3 right dots, you have some options to edit it. You can also send it by email, link it to a job. You also can pay it or record an offline payment. So if somebody does pay that, they send you a check or they pay via Square in your office, you can record that offline payment right here, and you can mark, if they paid multiple ones, you can mark those off, and you can just add any other information that you might want to as well. The other thing that you can do is you can copy a payment link and you can send that directly out however you wish to the client as well. And lastly, when it comes to invoices, you can go in individually to each client to view what's outstanding, also send them an invoice from their account. So if you go to your client list accounts, let's go ahead and select this client right here, scroll over to invoices. This is where you can see any of the invoices as well. Similar, you can kind of take any of those actions that you need to by clicking on the 3 right dots. You can also submit a new invoice here. You can also come here and you can see or create any recurring invoices. You can view any payments that have happened. You also can go ahead and view any of those time entries and bill directly from here as well.